The U.S. president, just as he announced in his campaign, is fighting for the U.S. auto industry. Soon, 25% tariffs will take effect on all cars and light trucks that enter the U.S. Some countries have already announced retaliatory measures. This includes Canada. The European Union is watching, while the British and Japanese are hoping for more lenient treatment. This one signature by the American president is of great significance. Its consequences affect not only the local auto industry, but also the entire U.S. economy and global trade.
We're going to have very strong policing, and it's pretty easy to do. If parts are made in America and a car isn't, those parts are not going to be taxed or tariffed. And we'll have very strong policing as far as that's concerned.
This decision by the U.S. president to impose tariffs amounts to $100 billion in additional budget revenues annually. Above all, however, it protects current jobs and creates new ones, and boosts the U.S. economy, where many auto industry giants will move their factories.
But this is very exciting to me. This is the automobile industry, and this will continue to spur growth like you haven't seen. Before I was elected, we were losing all of our plants that were being built in Mexico and Canada and other places. Now those plants largely have stopped, and they're moving them to our country.
Now others will lose. The tariffs are a blow to Europe's largest automakers, primarily Germany, but also Japan, South Korea, or China.
It's very hard to put the implications in numbers. But what we do know is that the European car manufacturing sector is already in a weak state. The numbers are not looking too good. So what now will happen with these announced tariffs is that there will be an additional pressure on European car manufacturers.
The tariffs will take effect on the 2nd of April, and for the time being, there is uncertainty on the stock markets, including in the U.S., and anticipation of the effects. The Americans are not ruling out exceptions for individual countries.
I think the interesting thing from a UK point of view is whether the Labour government can negotiate some sort of opt-out on the basis that UK-US trade is actually pretty balanced.
That's what Japan, among others, is counting on, with global giants like Toyota, Honda, and Nissan. We must consider what will serve Japan's national interests. We strongly ask the United States not to impose these tariffs on Japan. There are different options. We need to think about which is most effective and consider all options. The decision could also have consequences for Polish companies that produce car parts, but especially for countries such as Mexico, which is the largest exporter of cars to the U.S. Canada and the aforementioned Japan will also feel the consequences. Of European countries, Germany is the largest exporter. America is flooded with cars, often cheap cars, that are not made in the United States. And this results in the auto industry not creating jobs in the U.S. And Trump wants to prevent this. He already announced in his first term in talks with the heads of German car companies that he would like to do exactly that, so that these companies do not build factories in Mexico or Canada, but in the United States, because this creates jobs in the market there. U.S. President Donald Trump's increased tariffs that were set at 25% on steel and aluminum imports from the European Union have already been in effect since the 12th of March. In response, Brussels has imposed retaliatory tariffs on U.S. products worth $28 billion. A series of increases, as recently as last year, was started by Brussels, with tariffs on Chinese electric cars, which was met with a response from Beijing and a blow to the European food industry.